Hi everybody, welcome to the Fire It Up with CJ show. Today we have HeatherAsh Amara and we will be talking about a workshop that she's going to be teaching in Seattle on January 24th and the 25th. And the workshop is called Toltec Path of Transformation, Open Heart and Open Perception. So we're going to be talking a little bit about giving you a little appetizer of what to expect in that class. Welcome.
Thanks so much, CJ. It's great to be here.
So tell me a little bit, I was intrigued because you were talking about that the Toltecs have a way of perceiving energy. And then the course description then proceeds to say that this is related to going through shifting your perceptions and moving to a place of love and openness. And I was curious how those two things are connected.
Great question. The Toltec were a group of people that chose to come together in Mexico to study perception. Mm-hmm. And they were very curious, how do we create our reality? So the workshop's based in Toltec shamanism. The Toltec were shamans, like shamans all around the world. And the focus of shamanism is going beyond the mind's understanding and dropping into our knowing, our experience, and learning to perceive what's happening on an energetic level rather than what the story is. And what that means is that there's ways that we lose energy in our lives. There's ways that energy gets bound up. There's ways where we take actions that free up energy. So we begin to let go of how we talk to ourselves in our mind. And often we're very judgmental. We should be doing it this way or that way. And simply look at, how does my energy feel? Is this experience bringing energy into my life, or is it draining energy? And if it's draining energy, then we look at why. And that's based almost always on the agreements that we've made, on a belief system that we have. So then it's about learning tools to dismantle the old structures that keep us locked into patterns and habits that don't serve us. When we break those old energetic patterns, because anytime we make an agreement, we're putting energy towards something.
Right.
So then we reclaim the energy.
Okay. So it's being super conscious and aware of where the energy is going at any particular time and how that relates to how it relates to love, I assume, is if you are interacting with, your spouse or your kids or a friend, seeing if your energy is kind of depleted or excited or mad or whatever that is. I assume that's how it relates to love.
Partially, yes, absolutely. That when we interact with people, we're either, I think of it very simply, am I open or am I closed? And when we move away from they're closing me or they're opening me, and that's how we've been trained, most of us, we've grown up learning that somebody else is responsible for our emotions.
Right. It's all about them, not about me, because I'm perfect.
If they just didn't do that, I'd feel okay.
Right.
So it's such a losing battle because we're spending our lives trying to fix everybody else and make them behave the way they should behave so we feel better. Instead of just going, wow, there's just one of me. Why don't I focus on this? And so that's the path, is coming back to transforming ourselves and noticing in my interactions, am I opening or am I closing? If I'm closing, why? What's getting triggered within me that's causing me to close? As we learn to open our perceptions to watch the energy, and that takes moving beyond judgment or beyond what we think we should be doing or somebody else should be doing, to really witness, that then we start preferring to have an open heart because we realize that feels much better. Even if I don't like what this person is saying, even if I don't agree with them, it's yummier in our body to live from a place of love.
Stuff that we're talking about, the Toltec technologies or processes, or is that what they do? So it's kind of tuning in and then noticing your energy. Is that the Toltec part?
That's a big piece of it. There's 3 layers, we can say, and they're not sequential. They all work together, but they're called the 3 masteries. And the first mastery is mastery of awareness, becoming a witness to who is this being, thoughts, emotions, physical, energetic. And then the second mastery is the mastery of transformation. So once we get to see what we're doing, we then have tools to begin to create transformation. So one of those tools, for example, is recapitulation, which is a practice of going back into the past and bringing our energy into the present through a very simple breathing technique and through intent. Another one that's fun is a not doing. So a not doing is if I have a habit of like always being late,
right?
What I would do is the opposite of that, a not doing. So I would make the commitment to myself, I'm going to show up 10 minutes early to everything.
Yeah.
And then practice staying with that. And other types of not doings are you do thing where there's no reward. It's a not doing because it's an action that's not based, I'm going to get something for this.
Right.
Taking the action to break a pattern. And anytime we do a not doing, especially in the old entrenched patterns that we have, it's uncomfortable.
Right.
We get to see why we run late, or we get to see why we take that action, because then we're like, So it's the willingness then to go through to really clean it up.
So you have an awareness, and then you put yourself through kind of a challenge, a personal challenge to figure out and be aware, what would it be to be the opposite of that, or not doing that, or all those exercises. And so what's the third part? You said there are 3 parts.
Third one is the mastery of intent. And that's also my teacher, Don Miguel Ruiz, my mentor friend, Don Miguel Ruiz, is the author of the 4 Agreements. And the mastery of intent is also the mastery of love. And intent is when we're clear. I think of it as that we've cleaned up enough of our old unconscious agreements and beliefs that our being is clear. And what starts to fill us, just like you can imagine a clean vase, what starts to then fill us is our own love and is life. And life and intent are also synonymous. So intent is the force that moves through everything. And when we are clean, we can tap into what's my intent and then feel into the lines of energy of what's my next action.
Oh, that's a major aha for me. So we have our own personal intention, our own personal will, and then there's a divine intention or a divine will. That's what I heard was the second part. And I've never heard of it that way. I've heard of a will, but I've never heard of it as an intent, and I like that. Interesting.
Yeah, a beautiful way to live is to get clear. What's my intent? What's my focus? And then to feel who, where, what aligns with that intent. What are the obstacles that arise?
So thanks so much for telling us about those 3 steps. And in the next segment, we're going to be going through a short exercise to demonstrate what recapitulation may look like for you. Thanks so much, HeatherAsh.
Thank you.